Back here on GMA with our cover story and more on WNBA star Brittney Griner back in the U.S. from her detention in Russian captivity for 10 months after being released in a prisoner swap for a notorious arms dealer. U.S. Special Presidential Envoy for Hostage Affairs Roger Carstens, who was appointed by former President Donald Trump, helped secure Brittney Griner's release. And it's good to have you here
Robin,
in the studio.
For having me on. I appreciate
Absolutely,
it.
absolutely. So you flew there to the UAE.
I did.
To bring Brittney Griner back home. When you saw her, you said, I'm here to bring you home. I'm going to give you your space. And you were a little bit surprised by her response?
Oh, she was having none of it. She said, look, I've basically been listening to Russian for 10 months. I want to speak English. I want to chat with people. And then as I tried to point her to her seat, she just walked right past me and went right to the crew and started introducing herself to the crew members. And honestly, I watched her, and she connected with everyone, looked in their eyes, shook hands, got to know their names. And only when that was all done did she go back. And I was really impressed at how she values other people, to include the people that were trying to bring her home.
18-hour flight.
Indeed.
What else did you discuss, and your further impressions of Brittney Griner?
Well, 18 hours, she slept for 6. The rest of it was talking, 12 hours of just chatting. And we talked about a lot of things, anything from her time held in the Russian penal colony, going through the trial process, obviously her love for Sherelle, her teammates, everything that she missed, the things that she misses about the United States and America. But I think I left with the impression that this is an intelligent, impressive woman who is very self-aware, very kind, very humble, and above all, authentic. I mean, you get BG when you're talking to BG.
And you sound like Sherelle right now, because she always refers to her as BG. And you got to know her quite a bit. And we do know there's no timeline for the recovery process there in Texas. But we also hear that she played basketball for the first time, and Sherelle was rebounding for her. And you said her wife was really very instrumental in this effort.
Oh, my goodness. Sherelle was a great partner. As soon as this case came into my lap, we went and met with Sherelle. We also met with the agent, Lindsay, of course. And we started to work on how we're going to partner together. And working with Sherelle, we were able to pull together, and I'll say Sherelle pulled together, members of the NBA, the WNBA, other NGO and advocacy groups. She started to work with the Bring Our Families Home campaign, the families of other people that are wrongfully detained. And in doing so, she was able to elevate awareness and work with us as a partner, because at the end of the day, it's not just the U.S. government that gets the job done. It's a partnership between families, NGOs, members on Capitol Hill. I'll give a shout out to the Texas delegation, Representatives Allred and Sheila Jackson-Lee, who's on my speed dial. A lot of people put time and effort into this, to include members of the media who want to tell the story.
And when I sat down with Sherelle, she mentioned Paul Whelan. She mentioned the desire to bring him home as well. There were many people who thought that this was going to be a 2-for-1 deal, that Paul Whelan would be a part of it. Was he ever a part of this negotiation, this deal, and have you had a chance to speak with him?
So go take the second question first. I talked to Paul only hours after I landed in Texas. I landed at 4:30 in the morning, and at 9:30 Paul called from the penal colony in Russia. I explained to him, I said, Paul, it was one or nothing. We were not going to be able to get you out. We're going to keep working on it. But I understand that you're a little frustrated with that. But hear me, we're coming to get you. The president's focused, the secretary's focused. We're meeting today on Monday morning to go through next steps in the strategy. But Paul, we haven't forgotten you. We're coming to get you.
So the work is still ongoing with him.
It was ongoing while we're on the plane coming on with Brittney.
You know fully well that Republicans and some Democrats have been very critical of this deal in saying that the U.S. Traded too much. That was too big of a bargaining chip with Victor Bout. How do you respond to people who feel that this was not the right deal?
Well, maybe 2 or 3 points. The first one is that our national security experts did an assessment and determined that Victor Bout being released was no longer a threat to U.S. national security. And I have to believe in that. If that wasn't the case, we would not have progressed. I would say, secondly, I kind of flip it around. To me, what's unacceptable is not Victor Bout. What's unacceptable is an American who's innocent, wrongfully detained, being held in a foreign jail cell. We have a moral obligation. Having a blue passport means something. The Secretary of State, in his pocket, keeps a list of all those that are wrongfully detained, and he looks at it daily. The President of the United States is briefed. He knows all these cases by name. This is important to us. And so, while it might be tough to make some of the decisions that we've made, and they're exceedingly rare, by the way, to do something like a swap, we start from the premise and from the belief that it's our moral obligation to get an American. There are 2 things that we care about. Are they wrongfully detained, and do they have a blue passport? Because if you have a blue passport and another country or terrorist group takes you, you've got to know your country is coming to get you.
Your passion is quite evident. In speaking with many family members, they have often talked about your compassion and your commitment. And so, Ambassador, thank you so much.
Thank you, Ron. I appreciate it.
Keep us informed on Paul Whelan and all the others, because we want them all to come home.
So do I. Thank you.
All right. Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.